In this video, we're going to be looking at how margins and padding works in CSS. So margin is a predefined area within inside HTML or CSS. So you can see here that I've got a predefined div and I've got a border around it. What margins allow us to do is to create space around it. So imagine that each section of this page here has a margin. So on the side here, I've got a margin on my menu and I've got a margin here around my main content. I can create a space around any tags, which helps me with my web layout and making the, improving the visual appeal of the site. There are 4 aspects that you can modify in a margin. You can modify the top, right, bottom, and left side of the margin. And there's different properties that you can modify. So you can either let the browser calculate it based on the properties inside the browser, or more accurately, you can use length dimensions such as pixels, points, centimeters, so on. And also, if you don't know the person's resolution, you can also work with percentage of space, and that's both vertically and height of the browser. So how's this look in CSS? We have here our tag, and inside the tag, we have the properties, and then we can then change them by dimension. So here, we're using pixels. So we've got the top margin pixel by 100 pixels, bottom by 100 pixels, the right by 150 pixels, and then the left by 80 pixels. So if we have a look at this, we can see that our tag, or in this case here, we have our div has been pushed out by the pixels, has space around it. So that's one way you can do it. Another is you can actually change the dimensions within the element itself. So this is called padding. So you might use this and say it's inside a table, inside paragraphs, and what this lets you do is create space around the element where margins is outside it. So padding is something where you're probably going to use much more often when you're organizing data to a screen, say in the form of a table. It's the same properties can be changed, such as the top, right, bottom, left. Use the exact same measurements that you can do within a margin, whether that's length or by percentage. And as you can see here, it's the same thing, except instead of calling up as a margin, we call up as padding. So if you look at the code here, you can see that it looks almost the same. So my advice to you is play around with both margins and padding when using CSS inside a website, as it will help you create a bit more space and visual appeal.